This is ESPN ESPORTS. I'm Arda with Emily Rand and Jacob Wolf. Pslam, the second place finisher in the Fortnite World Cup, winning over $1 million in prizes in Fortnite, has decided he is done with the game and moving on to VALORANT. We are seeing many esports competitors across multiple titles decide that VALORANT is for them, many of them making this decision even before playing a second of the game. So there are two questions to ask here. Is Fortnite going to see a lot more players leave for the new game VALORANT? And what is the state of Fortnite competitive? Emily, in your opinion, how many more players are we going to see move to VALORANT? And is it a wise decision at this point, especially with such limited gameplay?
I'm going to start off with just a lot of issues I think have been plaguing Fortnite competitive since it started. And it's that even when the game was, I think, at the height of its popularity competitively last year, so not in the casual player base, but competitively, you still had a lot of people complaining about how RNG was dictating who was making where, how the game itself wasn't as competitive as they wanted it to be. And there was definitely this very large kind of rift between competitive players and the casual player base who are just kind of playing it for whatever. And Fortnite's casual player base is huge. And Epic poured a ton of money into making these massive tournaments without as much care, in my opinion, to the actual competitive integrity of Fortnite as an esport. I don't think that was ever really their concern as much as it was, we want to celebrate and continue to promote this game that is massively popular on multiple platforms. You can play it on almost it's available for pretty much anything, right? Even if the experience varies wildly from whether you play it on a PC to whether you play it on a console to whether you play it on your Nintendo Switch. And I think that these issues are now combining with the nature of battle royales just being really difficult to keep competitive in terms of what we think of more of a traditional esports sense, like a League of Legends or Counter-Strike or something like that. And you're definitely seeing, I think, especially a lot of older players, like Pslam is 25, right? He's someone who's looking for, I think, a bit more stability than a really young player in the Fortnite scene, who is looking more at it more as a YouTuber influencer kind of thing. Like if you want to be a competitive player, I don't think Fortnite was ever really the game for you. So it's not super shocking to see someone like Pslam specifically go, just because I think it brings into relief a lot of issues that Fortnite competitive already had. And the reason why people are leaving for VALORANT is just because it's the new game and it looks like it's going to be, at the very least, very fun to play. I think it will also have a higher skill cap than Fortnite does. So that'll be something interesting to watch in terms of who swaps over. But there's two things going on here. One, VALORANT is the new game, so there are going to be a ton of people swapping over to it. I think Overwatch is probably going to end up being the hardest hit initially off the bat, actually. And then you also have all of these issues that have kind of plagued the Fortnite competitive scene for a while coming to head now that there's a new game being released.
I think that the big thing here, to Emily's point, is people have begrudgingly played Fortnite and also Overwatch for a long amount of time because there's money to be made here, right? There are a lot of people who play even in the Overwatch League who do not like Overwatch. That is true. There are players in that league who do not like it. We saw Sinatra even a couple of nights, the reigning MVP, tweeting about how he was going to stream VALORANT most of the day on Tuesday. Right? There are people who are very unhappy even with that game. And the same could be said with Fortnite. But it was so big. And we heard this a lot, Arda. You and I interviewed people at the Fortnite World Cup. We heard this from several of the players there, that they didn't like the game. But guess what? When there's $3 million at stake, you're going to play it. right? Like
So-
there's a huge financial incentive to participate in a franchise league like the Overwatch League or in a highly lucrative ecosystem like Fortnite, even if you do not care and you do not enjoy the game, but if you're good at it, there's money to be made here,
Make some
right?
money.
And yeah, exactly. Grab
here's
the bag.
thing.
I will never shame people for that.
I agree with
I
you
won't either.
100%, Jacob. Nope. The three of us agree. Got to grab the bag. And that's definitely, you got to secure your future.